YouTube 101, my journey to 1,000 subscribers. Hi, I'm Yvonne, your host of Wild Travels. Welcome back to another segment. Again, I so appreciate you guys tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the little dinner bell, as that lets you know every time Wild Travels publishes a new video. Again, I'm going to take a quick second and shout out to my friends over at the 725 Print Lab, Inc. It was my first sponsorship, and I'm just so excited about it. I hope you guys like the shirts. You'll be seeing them here. Like I got several colors, and they're just really great shirts, and it just eliminates me, especially as a female, trying to decide what I'm going to wear when I do my next video. You know how we ladies do. We take 2 hours, put on makeup, 3 hours, decide what we're going to wear, and then finally decide we're not going out at all. So this is going to eliminate all of that. But I'm going to put their information in the comments so that you can have access to the link in case you have any questions. They do have a website. So again, shout out to them. Thank you to Roderick, who is the owner. So I had put out a video about a week or so ago and said that I was going to respond to some of the questions regarding the growth of my YouTube channel and how I did it, because there were some people that I had connected with and early on from signing on, and they noticed that my channel was growing kind of rapidly. Now, let me say this. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not a major YouTuber. I'm just barely over 1,000. So this is not, one of those, I'm going to get you, 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to hack the system. I'm not knocking any of that. I'm not qualified to do that video. There are plenty of people out there that can help you. That's not what this is about. This is for people who were like myself, came into this arena and this platform not knowing one single thing about YouTube, not knowing digital marketing, not knowing algorithms, not knowing, just completely green. And that's what I was. And so I promised I would come on and just kind of share with you. So if you're at 200, 100, or struggling to get to 100, maybe you're at 500 and you reached a wall and you're like, what in the world? I'm going to just kind of share with you briefly what I did, what my journey was. And so if you are small and you're looking for some help, I just hope that you'll find value in this. If it helps one person, then it's well worth my time and investment to share this video. So I was new to this social media platform. Back in last spring, an acquaintance mentioned, because I was a travel agent, that I needed to do a YouTube channel. I was like, I don't know anything about a YouTube channel. I was like, I don't even know I listen to music, but that was the extent of my knowledge of YouTube. And so he came back, and I ran into him again, and he gave me a little bit more information, told me what he was doing, and he was making income. He was monetized at the time, and I was like, really? Well, after I thought about it, as a travel agent, I get a lot of redundant questions, passports and, travel and cruises. The questions are kind of, for the most part, pretty redundant. And so I just kind of thought to myself, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to do a video, and in this way I could email it, because I was actually still emailing, copying and pasting. I had a list of the most common questions, copy and paste email, copy, paste, email. So I thought, well, you know what? This might help me. So this was last spring when he mentioned this. It took me from spring to August to actually put the first video together. I was just that nervous. I just couldn't bring myself to speak in front of a camera. I'm very good one-on-one with my client, but the idea of getting on a camera and talking to people, if you told me, back last spring I was going to be doing this, I would say you're out of your mind. It just was the furthest thing from my mind. So back in August, what I did was I got up the courage. I did a video on passports. If you go back and view it, you're going to see how very primitive it is, but it had quite a bit of information. So I put it on my Facebook page, and I boosted it. and it got like 4,000 hits. And so when I ran into him again, he was a fellow church member. When I ran into him again, I said, hey, this video got like 4,000 hits. And he was like, that's impossible. Nobody does that. And so I showed him my phone, and sure enough, he said, that's right. So it took me from August to December, because what I wanted to do, I took some time and I just fell back. Once I realized, and talking to him, he said, well, you may be onto something, it's a little different than my area. But so I decided to study up on the YouTube, what it was and things of that nature and what was going on with it. So in December of 2018 is when I actually went on and signed on and got tried to do Wow Travels, put up the second video. When I put up the second video, I had a buddy who was very good at editing and things of that nature. So I kind of did the video. He told me what to do. I sent it to him. He edited it and got it up for me. He set up the Wow Travels video for me, because the first one I set up, it was under my name. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. I was that green. I didn't know what I was doing. So, and if you can go back and view some of those, I'll put those 2 early videos in the link. It was the shrinking legroom on the airplane. That was one of them. And then the other was what to do if your flight was canceled or delayed. And now let me say this. I paid him. We talked about it, and I told him what I was doing. He thought the content was good, and so I paid him. So I had to make an investment, and this is one of the things I want to share with you guys. If you need help, get help. I realized early on, having, a sales background and been in business, that I was out of my element. And so we came up with what he felt was a fair price, and so I paid him. Now, if you'll go back and look at those 2 videos, you're going to see the editing is out of this world. But what it did was it drew people's attention, and they got it, and I was getting great comments. So the content, my point is, the content was good as well as the editing. I was able to mix the 2 together. So if you find, number one, if you find you're going to need help, there's nothing wrong with getting help. Okay? So, and what that did in having him assist me, it allowed me it took the pressure off me, where all I had to do was work and focus on the content and the context of the video and send it to him, and then I could jump back in and start researching exactly what this whole YouTube thing was, the algorithms and the analytics. And so I was watching all of the top people that I could, and I didn't even know who they were. I was just kind of clicking on things based on the thumbnail and hoping that these things would help me. But my point is that getting the help took the pressure off me if I'm trying to learn editing while I was trying to keep content up and keep the videos going. So, and the next part I want to tell you, it's okay to shift gears and make a change in your niche. My original thought was I was going to come on and, I was going to go to local restaurants. I had appointments set up. I had this thing going. I had a business owner set up. They were going to let me come in and sit down, and we were going to, talk about their cooking and their restaurant. But I quickly learned, once I started learning how to get into the guts of the analytics, that people were responding to the content that I was already putting up. And I realized again quickly, YouTube is a worldwide arena. And so I got to thinking, well, how is the restaurant, my favorite, I love the restaurant, but how is the guy or gal in Sweden, they may never get to this particular restaurant down the street that I love so much. And so at that point, I began to shift gears and say, well, if based on the analytics, this is what people seem to be gravitating to, let me stick with this first. And so that was another thing. So my point is, if you find that you need to go to another area, or you need to move or switch your niche a little bit, adjust it a little bit, go ahead and do that, because you want to get into those analytics and try to respond to what is going on. Now, as of January, those of us who, again, are brand new, January 2019, the whole game changed. and we just came into it, and if you're like me, I just kind of said, okay, here's the deal, let's try to make the best of it. And it's a little bit of an uphill battle, but they set the rules, we got to abide by them and figure out how to be successful so we can stay in the game. So again, what I wanted to say is I had to mix, because I do have a sales background. I have to get in front of people. That's what I know. That's what I do. I don't have the technical skills, but I do have the sales skills. So as a travel agent, I need to get in front of people. So I had to figure out a way to get in front of people without feeling like I was trying to sell them something. So that's what I'm here to share with you today. Whatever your niche is, you're going to be able to develop a skill set to introduce yourself to people and make them feel welcome so that you can connect. And the reason I'm saying that is because, of course, we all ran into the sub for sub thing. And when I first saw it, I was like, what in the world? What are they talking about? I mean, that's how green it was. I didn't even know what it was. But you'll find quickly, as I'm sure you did, there's no longevity in that. There's no relationship in that. You've made no investment in that. They've made no investment in you. And as you know, eventually they're going to fall off. So what I did, I decided to do what I know to do, is try to offer more in-use value than I was getting. So you say, how did you do that? And in this, we're a community. So I looked at it as a community. So I went around kind of like Mr. Rogers. My kids used to love Mr. Rogers and say, welcome to my neighborhood. And so I'd go, and I'd spend hours and hours doing this. I would sit down at the computer, and because I'm watching videos now, and I'd go on your channel. I probably went on your channel if you're watching. And I would say, hey, and introduce myself. And I say, hey, so I watched your video, and I didn't know you could mix those ingredients together. Or what an adorable baby. It's his fourth birthday party, and I hope he enjoyed it. And then I would leave a note and saying that I really think we connect, and let's try to stay in touch. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to hit the red button, and I'm going to give you a like. And if you come to my channel, and if you find value, then I hope you would do the same. And that's basically what we do when we open our videos. When we start our videos, you say, hey, please like, share, and subscribe. We do that to everybody. So I kind of took that same concept and moved it into the written form on their channel. But I first went in and offered them something. It wasn't like, you subscribe to me and then wait and see if I come over and check. And no, I went in saying, hey, I'm here because I found value in your channel. And I did this over and over and over and over again. And so I would search YouTube basically for good neighbors, basically. And was it, you're saying, and I can hear, you're saying, well, that's time consuming. Oh yeah, it was extremely time consuming. And I still had, to get up. I still get up every day. I've got to keep the lights on. I've got work to do. So if I had to get up, I'd be up at 4 and 5 a.m. in the morning. And I would get on my computer and I'd do a little research. And I'd hit up some people and say, hey, I watched your video. And then I'd leave my comments and my notes. And I say, I've subscribed. And I'd put my like and I'd put the number. I'm like number 19. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. This is what we do. And I did that over. I never changed my MO. I did it over and over. And then when I get in, after getting up at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, if it was 5, 6 o'clock at night, I sat at my computer, sometimes 11, sometimes midnight, sometimes later. There were nights I literally was nodding off at my laptop. That is how much time I invested. If I had a 3-day weekend, I shut everything down. And I was going through videos and looking for people who I felt I could connect with, and there'd be some longevity. So And I did it over and over and over again. And I don't mean to sound redundant, but again, you go into those videos. Don't just go, oh, cool video or a great video. If you're trying to grow, because that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't tell them, and they can tell. I mean, people can tell if if you watch their videos or not. So if you're really wanting to grow your channel, I am telling you, it worked for me. I'm not telling you anything I didn't do. And yes, I was exhausted. I was completely exhausted, but I knew that if I put in the time effort, let me tell you something. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. It's the most valuable thing you have to offer. It's the most valuable thing someone can offer to you. So I not only went broader, I went deeper. Now, let me say this. If you're going to have to be prepared, which is one thing, as you can tell, I always am. I didn't accept everybody. I mean, I go on some channels, and and I'm not knocking it. I mean, this is just what some people do. But if you're, just pulling the covers from over your head and, wiping sleep from your eyes, I'm gone. I mean, or the dog's barking and the kids are screaming and the camera's falling off the tripod, I'm gone. I mean, you're not prepared. And so I watched the bigger YouTubes. When that camera came on, they were on point. When that camera starts rolling, they're on point. They're not looking, say, hey, Joe, what? No, they're on their game. And so I looked at that and I watched and I studied how they were handling themselves on camera. And the reason I'm saying that is because you're inviting people to come to your channel. And so when they get there, you need to provide value. You need to provide professionalism. And so that's what I do. And I could tell from the comments, if you go back and look at those early videos, you'll see people were, but I put in the work. And I'm not, it's not here to just brag. I'm just telling you, man, I worked my tail off. I never come before you without notes. You see this? I got notes. Here's notes. Here's notes. Notes. All my notes. Here's all my notes from all my videos. I got more over there. I can show you. I got proof. I do my research. I'm on my game. And so, again, if you're going to do this and if you're going to follow this plan that I'm giving you, you're going to have to be prepared. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. Because as I was going through the videos, you guys, there seems to be another trend. It's kind of moving towards the value-added topics, and I'm probably not the only ones. I'm sure you guys have noticed this. Everything's kind of moving towards value-added, and so you'll have to find that space for whatever you do. Like for me, it's travel. Whatever, if it's hair, if it's makeup, whatever your arena is, you'll have to find that part of, go into the guts of what you do to try to bring that value to the viewer, because YouTube has changed. If you go back and look at the old videos, I mean, I can see, like I said, people rolling out of bed and they were just getting that view time. It's not like that anymore. And we've got big YouTubers, we've got influencers out here, and people are looking for motivation, and they're looking for instruction, and they're looking for great content from people who are on YouTube. And so that's just my thing. But that's just what I feel I'm seeing. I could be wrong, but just from the videos that I said. So definitely be prepared. I'm going to talk about the live chats for a little bit. Now, just to show you that this thing worked, I was at 997 subscribers. Now, you got to remember, I was about at 14 in December, around January. I was at 14, maybe 20 subscribers. Near the end of March, I was at 997 subscribers before I went into my first live chat. Now, I saw live chat coming up on my feed, but I was so engrossed in learning YouTube and learning what I need to do and being on my game, I never clicked on it. So what I'm saying to you is, if you follow this process, for you guys, you're struggling at 200, you're 300, 500, it will work. I grew it from 14, 20 to 997 by the end of March, just by doing what I went over with you. So I was only 3 subscribers short when I went into my first live. I'm not, again, and lives are great. I wish but I'm saying it was a learning process, and I'm glad I did it that way. But the live, oh my God, they're awesome. I think they're great. So if you don't do those, just start going. And I just hung back. I went into one and I hung back a little bit because I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what is going on in here? What is this? And then I finally jumped in and I said, hey, I'm kind of new here. I don't know what this is, but I'm all in. And then, people just started welcoming me and saying, and I kind of got into the flow from there. And now I've got some of them. We're friends on Facebook, so definitely get into those live chats. You'll learn. I actually learned how to read the analytics, what to look for in the analytics, what to do, what not to do, what to say on my channel, how not to get my channel taken down. So those live chats, man, were a huge education for me. So definitely do that. Respond to the next one is respond to every single comment. If someone comments on your YouTube channel, sometimes it's 1 or 2, especially when I was growing. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going to respond to that person. If they took time to write a comment on my channel because they had watched my video, sleep was not important to me. I was going to respond. Oh, and while I have that, if you have not downloaded the YouTube Studio, it's an app. The YouTube Studio is awesome. You can do almost anything you can do on your laptop from the YouTube Studio. But what it also does for responding, when you click on the comments, it's an app. It keeps all of the comments in one location. They're just in in a row. And in that way, because initially I was trying to go into each video to make sure it was is there a comment here, is there a comment here. So once I've downloaded the YouTube Studio app, when you click on comments, every comment that has ever been made, you can go right in there, just go down the list, and you can respond to each person without having to actually go in. That's just my little tip because I didn't know that, okay? Watch the pros. I've talked about that. Definitely you need to watch the pros because I was saying everything seems to be moving towards the more of the value added. And I'm going to put in the comments the link to some of the pros that I watched. It won't be all of them, but just the ones that I learned the most from. Now, one of the next things I want to talk about is I boosted some of my videos. Everybody talks about growing organically. I'm a salesperson. I got to be in front of you. I can't just sit back and wait for some system to decide if somebody's going to watch my video or that it ought to be in a certain location. I would suggest go in, learn about Facebook. I have a business page. From there, if you get a business page, and from there you can what we call boost. It's very inexpensive if you know how to do it right. And if you're not sure, put in the comments and I'll touch base with you. But it's very inexpensive to boost. You can boost around the world if you want. It just means it gets your video in front of more people. From there, it's their decision whether or not they want to click on and watch the video, or they want to subscribe, or they want to leave a comment. And then you can also link it to your Instagram account. So not only are you getting in the front of the people in Facebook, you're getting in front of the people on Instagram. And that's just to help you get your, work on your watch hours. That will help you there as well. But I promote, everything I do, because that's just how I do, and it gets traffic to your channel. And mainly, I think the last time I said, that first hour, you may have heard that, the first hour that you put a video up, make sure you're checking those comments. The very last thing is just go do it, okay? Go do it. I'm done, I'm pretty much, that's it. That's what got me to the 1,000 subscribers. And so just jump on there, start hitting people, comment, watch their videos. It is, but this is what we do. We're in this industry. And so I thank you guys so much for letting me share this with you. I hope and pray that you found value and it was a blessing to you. When you get to that 1,000, y'all better hit me up and let me know. And I'm so excited for you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Travel safely. You know I'm going to say that. And we will see you next time here on Wild Travels. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.